Hey, if you are a real estate investor, wholesaler, you're starting out in the business, you're looking to find yourself some discounted properties that you can wholesale or flip, there's no better way right now than to do that with Facebook ads for motivated sellers. Better than direct mail, better than cold calling. And so what I want to do in this video, I'm going to walk you through specifically why it is that Facebook is better. I'm going to walk you through some of the tools you need so that you can see that you don't need a whole bunch. And then I'm going to go ahead and log into the interface and show you how we target and also give you my top states when you're approaching this and looking to do virtual wholesaling. I'm going to do that all in one video. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right down to it. So I believe that wholesaling houses using Facebook is easier than any other marketing method that's out there to find yourself discounted property deals. It's better than cold calling, better than direct mail, better than driving for dollars and any of those other methods. And you know what I'm about to walk you through here is definitely not theory. I've got so many case studies and testimonials, and I'm not gonna sit here and bore you with that. But everything I'm talking to you about here is not theory. It's actual implementation, success from myself and my students. And I'm going to reveal a couple things on this video. Number one is what is it that makes wholesaling houses with Facebook so much easier? What are the tools that you need in order to get up and running? It's not that many, really easy. How you're going to target differently on Facebook than any other method. And then also how we follow up differently with Facebook than when you are dealing with other methods of marketing. It's a very much different process. I think it's a more efficient process, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you through that all in this video here. So let's talk about why Facebook is better. And Facebook is less risky than other methods. So with Facebook, you can get started by spending only $20 a day on an ad. That is it. You only have to decide today that I'm going to spend $20 on an ad. And only if that ad does well, do you then give Facebook another $20 tomorrow. So it is a game of not necessarily, hey, I'm going to make a commitment to spend, $1,500 and give $1,500 to Facebook, but I have no idea if that's going to work. The only way that you would ever get to spending $1,000 on Facebook is that you spend 20 and you got results. You spend 30, you got results. You spend $100 and you got results. And then it's almost like as if you were in the casino and you kept on putting money on the table because you kept on winning. That is the reason. That's the only way that you would continue to spend money on Facebook. If you consider, say, for example, direct mail, which I used to do a lot of direct mail in the past, you need to send thousands of postcards just to at least test a list or test the viability of a market before you can make a decision about anything. If you're doing cold calling, you have to spend hours on the phone cold calling and speaking with prospects just to have an idea if that list that you bought is a good list, if that market is a good market. And so, and for both of these above here, direct mail and cold calling, both of them require you to buy a lot of data to skip trace. They require you to have a bunch of different phone systems and tracking systems in place and much more. So it's not only more complicated, but it is a lot riskier from the standpoint of the money that you invest in this marketing method, in these direct mail and cold calling, to at least see if you are going to be able to do something with it. Also, Facebook has less competition. If you think about conventional methods, most of the lists are very saturated right now. The tax delinquent list, the probate list, the absentee owner list, the landlord list, all those lists are being attacked by a lot of other real estate investors via multiple methods. So if you got a tax delinquent list, you got investors that are cold calling that list, you got investors that are mailing that list, you got investors that are doing all kinds of stuff around those lists, text blasting, RVMs, I didn't even talk about that. With Facebook, a very small amount of the investor population is actually implementing Facebook. And if you consider the fact that how many of those that are implementing it correctly, that's even a smaller number. And with Facebook, you're also getting a much different seller than any other marketing methods. And a lot of the deals that we get on Facebook are owner-occupied properties, which most investors are targeting, like the tax delinquent list, the absentee owner list, so they don't go after the owner-occupied properties because there's just so many of them. And so it's very costly to go ahead and advertise and try to target those people. But Facebook finds those prospects which are not being targeted by other real estate investors. So therefore now we have them all to ourselves, less competition. Now, the other part of it is that virtual wholesaling is easier with Facebook ads. Now, you can test markets very quickly with $20 budgets. If I decide I'm in Miami, if I decide I want to test Tampa, $20 today. But when I decide I want to test Jacksonville, well, throw another $20 there. Versus direct mail, where I have to send out thousands of postcards in order to determine if that's a viable market or not. With virtual wholesaling and Facebook, I can target a larger geographic region than you could with conventional methods. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit later on in this video here. And also when testing markets, virtual wholesaling is a lot easier with Facebook ads, again, because of the cost. The riskiest part with virtual wholesaling is picking the right market, and then you gotta do a lot of research on picking the right market, because if you're gonna spend a lot of money in order to do that. But with Facebook, your risk is very, very minimal. So let's talk about the tools that you need for wholesaling with Facebook ads, whether you do it virtually or whether or not you do it locally. Number one is for Facebook. You're going to go ahead and, number one, you need a website. So you can go to chrischico.com/website for my recommended website vendor. So you need a website. You should have a website anyway as a real estate investor, because you're speaking with property owners, and it acts as a great credibility tool, right, in your tool belt. You also want to set up an account on using business.facebook.com. You don't want to advertise in your own personal ad account. If you have a Facebook profile, you get your own ad account, but you don't want to do that. You want to open up an actual business.facebook.com account. And you need a business page, which is, I guess you would consider that Facebook's own internal website inside of the Facebook platform. Those are pretty much all the requirements. So you can see that there's not a whole lot of infrastructure required. By the way, if you like this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so you can be notified when the next video comes out. Now, you need a way to manage your leads. That's something you should have anyway, regardless if you're doing Facebook or not. I always say, remember that high touch is better than high tech. You don't want to get caught up in dealing with a lot of technology and CRMs, and you spend all day dealing with your CRM, but you never call anybody or never do a deal. And unfortunately, that's what happens with a lot of people. The easiest way would be to use either Google Sheets or use Trello, Trello.com, Trello. And a lot of my students are using Trello. Trello is like a project management tool, but you can use that as a lead management system. You can use it as your to-do list. You can use that as your way to track deals that are pending and closing and all that other stuff. And so it's a really great tool. I encourage you to go there, go to Trello.com and check it out. They have a section for templates. You can look at that and get a template for lead, use it as your CRM. So very highly intuitive, easy to use. You need a phone system. You need a phone system because you need a way to call people and interact with them. And the two main methods that you're going to do that is through phone and also text messaging. Now, if you're starting out brand new, you could always use your phone. There's nothing wrong with using your phone and calling people and texting them. And then later on, you can get fancy. If you have a little bit of a higher budget and you can use a system like Dialpad.com or callrail.com and set that up as a phone number so that you can call people, they can call you back, you can text message, etc. But again, not 100% necessary. You can just use your phone in the beginning just to kind of get things going. Remember what I said, high touch is better than low tech. No, that's not what I said. I said high touch is better than high tech. Sorry about that. All right, so, and again, this is from one of my clients. It was interesting because he had a whole conversation with a property owner, and the owner told him everything about the property all by text messaging. And so a lot of people nowadays, if you think about your own reality and how you interact in a daily basis with your friends and your family members and anybody else, most of the time you're texting first, phone call second. So keep that in mind, because a lot of the times we're getting that initial information from the sellers, building rapport really through the use of text messaging initially and not through the phone. Now, how is it that the leads come in? So once you start advertising on Facebook, how do the leads come in? Well, the prospect is going to fill out a lead form. And at the end of this video, you're going to see another video that I have that will teach you exactly what the lead forms look like and everything else. It's right on YouTube. So make sure you check that video out at the end of this video. But the prospect fills out a lead form. You're going to need some sort of tool in order to push that lead to wherever you want it to go. If you can have that lead be sent to your email, to your Trello, get yourself a text message with that lead information. So as soon as that lead comes in, then you can get a hold of them right away. If you don't have a Zapier.com installed, you don't sign up for Zapier.com, then you have to manually download the leads from Facebook, and now you don't know when the leads are coming in, and so you might get a hold of somebody hours and hours after they submitted the form, which if you're available, you might as well get to them as quickly as you can. And again, so that's why I recommend using a tool like Zapier, and you can just send them to your email or text, and again, use Trello, and that's all you need. A sample email template, you can kind of borrow this from me. This is the email template that I use whenever we send leads to email, and we send them a couple different places. So we can send them to our email, and then we can also send them to our CRM all simultaneously. But that's kind of the template that we use. So you can kind of maybe screenshot this as well. So let's talk about the targeting. And the targeting is really something that is interesting and very much different with Facebook as opposed to some of these other methods. And that is because we're going to target a much larger geographic region. And the regions is you have a couple different options. You can target by the county. And so a lead, you're gonna spend about $25 to $35 per lead for targeting the county. You can target an entire state, and that is going to dramatically decrease your lead costs. And so now you're going to be paying only about $15 a lead. You can also target nationally, where you take and you when I say nationally, I don't mean the entire country. I mean group together a certain number of states. And actually, I think the next slide, I'm going to actually give you the states that I recommend you target, and keep to those because they're the most populous ones anyway. Actually, here they are right now. These are, you might want to just pause the video, take a screenshot of this. If you're going to be targeting nationally, these are the states that I would recommend you stick with. You can just group them together. You can group 3 or 4 of them together. And then you're just going to run the ads and allow the leads to come in. You're going to do deals as they come in, regardless of wherever they're at, and you're going to do them virtually. So let me walk you through the interface real quick so you can see exactly how that works. So this is just one of my test accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you real quick how the targeting works. I'm just going to call this a test campaign here. And always want to make sure you select the special housing category. And the campaign objective is always going to be lead generation. That's how we start off with. And I'm just going to put, for our purposes here, a budget of $20. And I'm going to put here a test. And I'm just going to name these like this just to kind of get ourselves going. And once we do that, then I'm going to go ahead and go into the targeting. And the example I'm going to give, and the targeting is done in the ad set level. And so I'm going to go here. So the way it works is I'm going to go ahead and select, I'm going to select people living or recently in this location. I'm going to select my county. So this is Broward County. And then that's going to give me that selection, Broward County. I'm not sure why the map doesn't move, but that is where I'm located. So you can do that. You can select multiple counties together. So I can say I want Dade County, Florida. I can select also Palm Beach County because those are my 3 counties right north and south of me. So I can select that. I can also go ahead and just go ahead and select the state. So I can say I just want the state of Florida. And then when I do that, that's going to give me a less cost per lead and more opportunities throughout the state. You can see here that it shows that it has 16 million people potential targets. I can also group other states. So let's say I was wanting to do deals in Florida, but I also had Texas in mind because I know people there and I've done deals there before. And so then that way I can target those 2, and then the campaign will run and will give me leads from both of those. So that's really how the targeting works and how I recommend targeting when you're doing Facebook ads. I would say just target the entire state, and then you're going to get a bunch of leads everywhere, and you're just going to do the deals as they come. So there you have it. What I want you to do next is that I do have a video that covers a series where I dig a little bit deeper into specifically how to run Facebook ads for motivated sellers. Click on that video as part of a 4-part video series, and it will help you walk you through the rest of the way in terms of getting your first ads up and running on Facebook and starting to generate motivated sellers.